When I was a kid, I used to love Wolverine. I mean, I still do, but I don't want his powers. And what I mean by that is every kid wanted to be Wolverine. Like Snick Snick, pop out the claws, run around, just start tearing people into shreds, right? Tearing sentinels into shreds. But as I got older, I started to realize that if I had to choose a power and I was on the X-Men, I'd probably go with Cyclops' concussive blasts. I mean, yeah, I have to put the visor on. I have to wear it at all times. But for convenience, when Cyclops uses his concussive blasts, they don't cause him pain. And he can amp up the amount of energy that he puts into it or the energy that he chooses to release to level an entire mountain. In regards to Wolverine, when Wolverine pops his claws tear their way out of his body. They slice through muscle, they slice through sometimes bone, they slice through his skin, and he says that it always causes him pain. And if it isn't for the fact that he had his healing factor, he would have to deal with the multiple different diseases that basically get on his claws when he stabs people and then they retract back into his body. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with all of that. I feel as though I'm reaching that point now with Starlight in The Boys. Because every single time I see Starlight use her powers, I'm like, these have to be the most inconsistent and wildly pathetic powers on the entire show. To the point where recently, as of last season, I believe, people started to meme when she basically lit up her eyes because she would light up her eyes in order to do something, like she was about to do something. And even Homelander at one point in time was like, yeah, go ahead and put those away because you and I both know that if you tried to do something with those, you do absolutely nothing to me and I'd pull you apart. And I really didn't think about it. It's one of those situations where Homelander talks shit to everybody, but I really didn't stop and give it thought until this season, where I really started looking into her power set when she was just attempting to fly, and she was doing it absolutely pathetically. Where they were like, she's been able to hold her flight for a couple seconds. And I was like, that really doesn't make any sense. And here's why. So her power is electricity conversion. She can absorb the ambient electricity from her surroundings in order to fuel herself, which is essentially she's like a phone, where her battery can be anywhere from 1% to 100%. And as she absorbs electricity, her electricity is basically the charger, she can reach that 100% peak that we saw for a brief moment when she blasted Soldier Boy towards the end of last season. Here's the problem. Her power set doesn't make any sense because electricity conversion is absorbing the ambient electricity from her surroundings. She's in a city at all times. She rarely, if ever, leaves the city. Like, I want you to think about New York City, or even if not New York City, I want you to think about the major city in your country, right? Think about all of the things that run on electricity in that city. Like I live on the East Coast. So let's talk about New York City, right? New York City has trains that run by electricity. We've got street lights, electric cars, we've got buildings, we've got uh spy system infrastructure with the CCTV cameras and things along those lines. We've got bridges, we've got helicopters, we've got neon signs, we've got other types of signage, we've got signages on buses. A lot of the buses are no longer running on diesel, they run on electric. There are so many things in a city. Not only that, but you have people who have phones, cameras, smart cars, smart TVs, just so many things in a city that run on electricity that it would make the most sense that as long as Starlight is in a city, she would always be at 100%. She would always be at that peak, like when she was fighting Soldier Boy for those 5 fucking seconds. But for whatever reason, the energy absorption in order to get to 100% just seems weirdly out of whack, where her absorbing energy, not even a ridiculous amount of energy, but just a small amount of energy to give her the power of flight, knocks out an entire city block. And I mean, she's only flying for a few fucking seconds. That's pathetic. That's really, really sad. Like, I feel as though the show has to go back to the drawing board in regards to Starlight's powers. Like, I'm really hoping that this whole her training with Huey thing to kind of understand her limits and get the ability to fly and things along those lines is really going to make her understand how to passively, constantly absorb energy from her surroundings so that she always starts off at 100% and she doesn't have to ramp her way up to 100%. Because at this point in time, any suit that she goes up against who has super strength or mild speed completely can blitz her before she's even able to remotely charge in any way, shape, or form. Eyes light up, what's that for? Use your powers in a more interesting way. Like, your name is Starlight. The very first thing that I would do if you and me were to fight was to let off a gigantic fucking flashbang. Completely render you unable to see me so that I can charge up as much energy as possible and attack you from a different position. What I'm saying is, Starlight needs to get more tactical with her shit. Or Amazon really needs to sit down and figure out how can we make her powers make more sense. Because from where I'm standing right now, her powers just, they do not add up in any way, shape, or form that I could say that it would be extremely effective. Let's go back, not even last season, let's go back to the season before last, when she was essentially arrested and Vought put her in that cell. There's no way that from the moment I'm taken and brought down into that cell, all of Vought Tower, 100 floors, all running on electricity with their own generator that keeps them off of the city's main power grid. There's no way me not just being inside of this building doesn't charge me up to the point where I'm at 100%. Like, there's no way in any shape and form. And this is on top of the fact that she has super strength enough to basically pick up 2 tons, as we see her like lifting up the back of the car and picking up things that are extremely heavy when they were down in the tunnel. But no. I'm extremely sorry. I'm reaching the point now where I'm with the fans. Anytime I see her eyes light up, I instantaneously go, what's that for? Who's that for? It's not for Homelander. It's not for any of the other suits that you're about to fight, because we've seen multiple times that those eyes light up and within 15 seconds you get absolutely fucking packed up. But let me know what you think about Starlight's powers. Do you think her powers are just crazily pathetic and need a boost in some way, shape, or form? What was that drug that existed in season 1? I don't remember what the name of that drug was. I think they might have just been shooting up Compound V, but I also feel as though they had turned Compound V into like some form of like crack cocaine or something along those lines. But they need to, she needs to go ahead and take that. Go ahead and start shooting that up, baby girl, because from where we're standing right now, you versus Homelander, he's blitzing you in within 3 seconds and tearing you to shreds before you're even able to get your powers charged to like 7%. But let me know what you guys think about Starlight. Let me know what you think about her powers. Comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.